Nicole O'Neill once said, "When you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
great, so amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.
like, share, subscribe. Welcome on board. It's another beautiful Monday here. And we're grateful for another opportunity to share with you, to be here with you on a Monday afternoon. You know, I was in conversation with a dear sister in church yesterday. She's like, EJ, I see you every week. I see you, but you people put your show on a Monday, so I'm at work. I'm like, yes, I get it. I get it. For some people, they can sneak in and watch. For some others, they have to watch the replay afterwards. But we chose Monday because we just believe that it's a good way to kickstart the week, right? And when we started initially, it was Monday morning. Very early in the morning, like, okay, let's kickstart your day with some motivation and inspiration. But then we thought, okay, let's make it lunchtime. So rather than you just maybe gisting away during lunchtime, you can just probably plug your AirPods or your headphones and just, have lunch with us. So while you're having lunch, you can join us on the show as we get to speak to different people and speak to different topics. So welcome again to Your Voice, Your Impact. I'm going to bring up Grace, my co-host, and then we have a special guest for you on the show today. Hello, Gracie. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing amazing. And you know what you just said? I love what you said and how you responded to that particular stuff that the lady said, that Mondays, yes. And just like you rightly said, we don't have to do things normally. The normal thing will be on a very easy Saturday morning or Sunday evening, or the norm. But again, for me personally, I love this because even though I get to work on Mondays, I have created that time as this particular 1 p.m. is part of my routine, and I love it because it sets the tone for the week. So yeah, I'm here and happy to be here. How was your weekend?
Fantastic. Weekend was great. It was a mix of everything, but it was great. And I'm grateful for yet another week. And again, if you've been following the series, you already know that this month of September, maybe we might extend it to October, but for now, the month of September, we're dedicating to amazing founders, their stories, and the impact that they're making with the work that they're doing. So, in case you know a founder that you think should amplify their voices, please send them our ways. You can send their names to us so that we can go search them out, or you can send our show to them and say, I think you should be on this show, right? So you can do that for us. You can be the middleman. And that's you supporting us. And that's you making impact as well. Because when you connect us to the founders, or you connect the founders to us, and then they come and share their story, and then somebody listens to their story or watches their episode and goes, oh my God, I get it now. You have impacted somebody you don't even know, and you have no clue how far that impact can go. And so that's why we are here every week. We have, we have the goals, we have want to see the numbers coming in and everything, but we also know that we might not be able to quantify it because we don't know that one person that will listen to what somebody on the show is saying and will just change the trajectory of their lives. So please, you will be doing us a good and the world at large a good by connecting us to a founder or a founder to us, at least on this series. And then when we move on to the next series, we'll let you know how you can also support the work that we do here. So if you're watching this and you're not yet subscribed to us on YouTube, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why. Okay. I know that it's not very common for you to go and watch a replay on LinkedIn. It's not very common. I know you could, but it's not very common. But on YouTube, I think it's easier. So if you're not yet subscribed to us on YouTube, you are wrong. Yes, you are. Anyways, so today let us bring up our guest. You know, the first
I'm
time I
loving
saw
this flavor. I'm loving this flavor of the energetic today. I'm loving this flavor.
thank you, thank you. You know, when I first saw our guest's picture, I'm like, "Ah, with the when I saw the bio and then the picture, I'm like, "Ah, this person is young, oh." I'm like, "Ah, this person is young, oh." And Grace was like, he's not old, like old person. But at the same time, he's not as young as you think. And so I went snooping. And when I saw him, like, oh, wow, it's true. Oh, it's not so young. Oh, he just has a very, very, you know what I call baby face. That's what he does have. He has a young face, but you can see from the work that he's done as a Rotarian, as a serial entrepreneur, you can see that okay, this person has been here for a while. And you know, I found out also that he's married and everything. Okay. When I saw the picture first, it looks like one young man, like are you a bachelor? Let's say it on the show so that you know. But and then I found out like, oh, this is amazing. Okay, you know, let the baby face not deceive you. But we're so glad to be hosting a Rotarian, a serial entrepreneur on the show today. And we're looking forward to what we can learn from his story and would like to invite him so that he can tell us from his own, you know, perspective. What we have is his profile curated, but we want to hear from him directly. Oji Don Oji. Of course, the third name is Chukwuemeka, but I'm like, okay, I want to know why you removed that part. Maybe it's because it's long. Let's find out. Welcome on the show, Mr. Don Oji.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Good to be here. Good to be here. Good to be here.
We're
Good
happy to have
afternoon.
you,
Good
sir.
afternoon, everyone. EJ, you're doing a great job. Good to see you
Thank you,
again.
sir. Yes, yes,
Grace,
yes.
so
Welcome.
amazing. Thank you for bringing me on the show. It's a pleasure on my own end.
Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to ease you into the show. Our show is very fun. We will not like to tight the word in our chest like this. The word is already tight. So our job is to
Okay.
ease it, even as we are having fun and learning. It should be fun.
Okay.
So we're going to,
Um.
before we let you go, before we let you dive into and tell us your story, we want to ease you into the conversation. So we're going to ask you a trivia question. Are you open to that?
Well, I'm not. Go ahead. Shoot. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, that settles it. We're already laughing. It settles it. It's fine. We don't need any other fun.
Oh, that's good. That's great.
What's the idea?
Oh my goodness. Grace, what did you say?
No, I said that's the whole idea. And yeah, I think for starters, we'll just allow you to, it will be nice to read your bio, talk about who you are and all of that. But it's always sweeter from the horse's mouth. So we'd like you to just introduce yourself to our audience. Let them know who we have here. So tell us about a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Thank you so much. Like I said, EJ, thank you. Grace, so amazing. Is a pleasure. Uh, my names are Oji, Donoji, Chukwuemeka, and there's one other name, Ifeanyi Chukwu. So actually, my birth names are Chukwuemeka Ifeanyi Chukwu. So I created Donoji, and it means a whole lot to me. So Donoji means to me is a leader and someone that has that charisma to lead at any time. So while growing up, I started using that name. So when I got married and had my child, I also named him Donoji. So when he asked me, Daddy, what's the meaning of my name? I say, your name means whatever I give it to. So it means leadership. Wherever you are, you lead. So that word leadership has a lot of things behind them. So it means integrity. It means I don't have to bully people, and I don't have to let people bully me. Like you said, I look so young, like 16, right? So you could always underestimate me. But that being the case, is actually a wonderful journey for me. So that's my name, Donoji Kremka. I'm an architect. That is what I read in school. So I did architecture. I have a BSc, I have an MSc, then I did an MBA in business administration. I got that one too. But in all these things, they are just book things, But majorly, what I do for a living is business. So I said I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I'm a carpenter, I'm a farmer, I run a barber salon, I own one and I run one. I do business so well. I'm into hospitality business in East Africa. I also do some haulage kind of business somewhere else. I sit on board of several companies in Nigeria, in the US, and somewhere in East Africa also. So I'm on board of some certain companies. So because of the vast business terrain I've passed through, it has actually groomed me and helped me to be able to stay humble and do the things I've been able to do. So just for starters, recently this year, my children just got to realize that I'm the owner of my company. So they never knew. So they were always thinking, Daddy, who is your boss? Who is your boss? So I said, well, you want to talk to my boss? I'll get you to talk to one. So I called one of my bosses. And my boss said to them, don't mind your daddy. I'm just here mentoring him. And they said, wow, Daddy, so you're the owner of this company we've been hearing about. So we come to your office. We didn't know you're the owner. We thought you were just working there. And you have people working for you. We didn't know they're the owner. So you see, it makes you stay humble, always in your head. Always have that mind thing in your head that I'm not just the overall. I still have to, answer to other persons. I still have to do what I need to do. So these are the things I do for myself. So, and that is it. So I think this is a short introduction of myself. I'm married, right, to a beautiful lady. She's Yoruba, while I'm Igbo. So in my house, we speak English. I can't speak Yoruba, so we speak English in my house. So, but notwithstanding, we can talk details about those. I got 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. I don't put them out there; they are not on social media. But I got 3 kids, 3 wonderful kids. So when the time is right, we can start seeing them. But for now, they are private citizens of my house. So I think that's a short intro.
Wow, that's lovely. Well, beautiful. Yes, I know she's Miss Aderonke Donoji. I know that one.
Investigative journalism.
Oh, good.
Wow,
Oh,
I
good.
love what you said about you've been in business enough, but then you allow humility to keep your head steady. What would you say is the source of that? Did you have like somebody mentor that to you, model that to you, or was it life that pounded you to have that
Yes.
perspective?
Okay, so I'll put it this way, right? For me, as a person, life actually pounded me in because I grew up in a home whereby I had a lot of faith in my dad. I feel like when the time is right, Daddy will fix everything. He's actually one wonderful fixer. So when I say fixer, I mean fixer in all angles. So during my year 1, year 2 in universities, I had my dad do my assignments, like he does my assignments for me. And one day he asked me, son, this assignment I'm doing for you, are you reading? I said, Dad, you know what? I'm already intelligent chap, right? I'm just here in school to get a 2-1. If I have you as a person, you should be the one doing the assignment. I'll be submitting and defending. So sometime in my end of second year, boom, I lost my dad. So that was when life happened. So when I lost my dad, my mom was there for me. I had my siblings were also there, but now nobody to do my assignments. I had to do my assignment myself. But the funniest thing was when my dad was doing my assignment, my how do you call, is this your grade? My total grade in university was 3.85 while my dad was there. When I lost my dad and I started reading and doing things myself, I was hitting 4 points plus, 4 points plus until I graduated. So it means that I had this inbuilt thing in me that I didn't recognize or I didn't know until life happened to me. So when life pounded me, it took me from school to business. And that was when I decided to become a carpenter. Because now, when you finish from school, you have to go through mentorship. You have to work for people to learn the rope. How will you start from? What are you going to do? So I discovered that if I go through the carpentry route, I can actually end up in that same industry, understanding what I'm doing without having to pass through this rigorous route of construction, which is what everybody wants to do. So I became a carpenter. So when I did carpentry, I found out, I said to myself, first of all, there are advantages to my face, and there's also disadvantage. So you see, I look very young. And in carpentry, you do a lot of, your transactions are in millions. So you could not just wake up and run into someone and said, I own the company. So you have to say, I actually work for them. So if I'm going to be talking with you, know that I have also someone that I need to get approvals from. So you create an imaginary person in your head. So I had an imaginary person in my head, which I finally made a person, whether he knows it or not. When I say my boss, I refer to him, but he's not infused in my business. He's just there mentoring me, but he doesn't know how I use him as so imaginary a person that he became a person that I'm saying, this is my boss. So when I'm negotiating with you, I'm doing anything with you, I just tell you, no, I don't have the final say to this. So it makes me more money, right? And if you see the kind of deals I close, and I say to you, I got a boss, you say, if this person is closing this deal and he still got a boss to report to, that means his boss will be a bigger person. So in that light, life pounded me in to become humble. So being humble now means that if you see me with my team, you will find it difficult, to know that this is the boss and these are the guys. Then I got to a time that I had some expatriates working in my organization. I drove one expatriate to a site and we'll get to see a client. And the client said, stay out of my house. I want to talk to him. I was like, wow. So I stayed out and the deal was closed, but he never knew who owned the company. So he thought he was talking to the white man in Nigeria. He didn't know that the white man was actually working for me. So when you see those things happening, these are real. So these are not like storytelling. So this is my story. So what happens to me is that my eyes are on the bag. So it doesn't matter what you take me for, whether I'm the boss or not the boss, doesn't really matter. What matters is, are we really moving forward? Are we making it? So life beat me into becoming this humble person that I am. So some people might say he's not humble. Well, that's fine too. Because sometimes in business, you just have to put up that facade of being sassy, I don't care. But the point is that behind all this facade, you still have to be a humble person, because humility is what actually have to drive it. You have to be humble. People need to learn from you. People need to see you. It's not pretense again. It becomes a lifestyle. So if you are dressed in a t-shirt and a jean, it doesn't matter how much you have in your account. The money in your account is the money in your account. But you are you. So it's not because you have XYZ amount of money in the account, you behave XYZ. So whether XYZ is there or not, it doesn't matter. So who you are is who you are. So it also brings me to what happened along my life trajectory in business. Those days in business, I had this bank we're banking with. Maybe let me not mention the banks. One of the banks we bank with. At the end of the year, they used to give us, packages for people that their account is breathing well. So they'll just call me. I never had a car. I was a young chap, so I didn't know. I needed a car actually, because I was moving. Whatever I need, it moves. So, but they'll call me, give me a bag of rice, all those goody for Christmas, then no car. So why I'm a big man is when I have to put bikes, carrying those things to the house. He has to, that kind of thing. When I bought my first car, I will say it here, when I bought my first car, right, I had the money times 10 or over times 10 in my account before I bought the first car. And when I bought the first car, I didn't know that I just got the car. So the guy brought the car and said, Where can I park it? I said, put it here, and handed the key over to me. I dropped the key in the room, and I forgot that I bought a car. Because, you're just you. You're just trying to live your life. So it took me some time to realize that, I have a car. I need to start using it to make life easier. So these are these are some other few things I'll say. Life beat me into it, just to answer your question. So we can move on. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I love when you said that it gets to a point where it is the truth is, with what you just shared, right? It wasn't even as if it was a facade. It was just you learning through life. And I love when you said it now became, life. It's no longer like you are acting anymore. At first, when you said you had an imaginary boss. So even though I love how your mind works in that regard. Like, this boss is imaginary to me, but the picture of the person I have in my head is actually a real person. And I can
Yes.
always go to the person for advice, for support and things like that. And I just love it, right? And this is just a beautiful story you shared with us on how you stayed grounded, and the fact that even within your workforce now, it's difficult to tell who the boss is. The point is, let's get the job done and let's work together. On your journey to get into this place that you are now, and where you run multiple businesses, right? And when you said you have a barbing salon, you are a carpenter, you studied architecture. That part where you said you felt you wanted to go through carpentry to come back to this industry, which is still has to do with construction and everything. Was that something that came to you naturally, or was it, did somebody point that out to you? Because I'm like, first things, I couldn't connect it, but the way you connected is like, this is interesting. Did you have somebody point you in that direction, or did it just come to you? Let's just know that whether is a genius we're talking to here.
Okay. Okay. So I would say God has been so merciful to me. I won't take that away. You see, God has been so merciful to me. So when life happened, while I was in university, that's when I lost my dad. When life happened to me, right? I discovered that for me to survive, first of all, I'm now the head of my family. And as the head of the family, there are, in Nigeria, especially from my race, where I'm from, there's a lot of responsibilities for the first son, right? So having to shoulder all these responsibilities means that you have to think outside the box. Whether you like it or not, it is on you to deliver. So, but while you are delivering, God has a way. He blesses this kind of set of people. When it happens, God has a way to say, you know what, you have additional blessings. So God gave me those additional blessings. So I'm an intelligent person. I won't, well, to a greater extent, I won't say I'm not. I'm an intelligent person. Then I can always look out and figure out my way wherever I am. I'm a shy guy. Actually, I am shy. Sometimes it's not easy to stand on this screen like this to speak, but out of boldness and say, you know what, if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I apologize, I move forward. I'm not the perfect person, but I'm intelligent. Does not mean that I can't make mistakes. So I first of all have to accept who I am, right? Realizing very well that I'm prone to make mistakes, and those mistakes could take me up or down. So what really happened was, if I am out of school, who can I rely on to give me those big projects, for an architect? So first thing, I left school after my BSc because I couldn't afford to run through masters at the same time, which other persons were doing at that time, but I couldn't because I had my partner, who was my younger brother, that was in school also, in another school, studying architecture. So I had to leave school after my BSc to allow him run his own masters. So while I came out to look at things I need to do, I already figured out in my head that I was going to become a carpenter. And carpenter is like a shortcut to get into building construction, getting into what I needed to do. So you can see somebody say, I'm an interior designer, I do this, but I just tell people straight for I'm a carpenter. So when I'm a carpenter, I don't know what is interior design. I just focus on my interior carpentry. So while I'm doing interior carpentry, I can run everything in your house, from tiling to painting, to fixing your doors, to your cabinetries, like your wardrobe. I became a kitchen expert. I can close my eyes and tell you this is how your kitchen is going to look like. And this is how I go. So while I was doing those things, found out that I'm already in the construction industry, just like that. Because if you finish your construction, I'll come and make corrections. Your socket is supposed to be 1.xyz distance from the floor to this place. You're going to put your switch here against here. So why didn't the other architects get to know? What happened to them? Because they don't have this kind of carpentry or kind of the expertise that I've gotten while in carpentry. So it becomes easy for me. So this is what really happened. So while you're there, so this is a pathway to where I'm heading to, right? So if I become a carpenter, first of all, when I say I'm a carpenter, you first of all, whoa. So what you do, you're shocked. Then next thing is I will now start advising you on your POP, advise you on what you need to do your walls. I'll tell you, oh, why don't you, if you have a kitchen, XYZ amount, because our kitchens are very expensive. If you build this kitchen with us for, like, example, 10 million naira, we don't want to allow your house help or housekeepers to use the kitchen roughly. So why don't you create another kitchen for them to use? They say, where can I do it? I say, the point is, why don't you do here and here? So those professional advices comes as consultancy, and it comes easily, free. So I wasn't even billing for that. So people want to talk with you because you go the extra mile to explain to them what they want. So indirectly, you are moving gradually into your client's mind. Now, in my client's mind, I'm no longer just their carpenter. I've become a friend. So once I deal with you one job, we're friends. So referrals is always there. So marketing becomes easier. So while I'm sitting down with my phone, just ring, hello, remember we did one project, this, what do we go about that? Your consultation ideologies comes up. But notwithstanding, there were mistakes, right, that was made or that I made that I've learned after those mistakes, and I'll be able to restructure or revive myself to say, okay, this is how I'll be billing henceforth, dealing and billing. So because when you're creating value, you expect money to come back to you. So while those values are going, sometimes you don't even need to expect money. You just create those values. After a while, they'll germinate. They'll bear fruit. The fruit will get ripe, then you now harvest. So what I was doing at that time was I was sowing all around. So I didn't bother. Yes, I didn't bother whether they were paying enough. So I got a lot of high-profile clients in Nigeria. So if you check my contact list, you're like, wow. So these are the kind of people you've dealt with, from governors to ministers to we even got to an extent that we went to the villa to look at the Fair Council Center, to review the plan that they had. I think Gilobega were the one doing those jobs, but they called us like private consultancy to look at those pop-up screen on the decks. We ended up not doing that job, but I had the opportunity to go to that president seat, touch it and feel like how the place moves. Now, it was not like it was going to be an achievement, but for someone like me, I feel like for me to go to that presidential seat in a Fair Council meeting, to see how the seat operates, what suggestions onto their design you can make, for the fact that someone else is that has more specialty than you did that place, and you are supposed to go do a review. It was one of the height of it for me. So I said, like, God has been gracious to me. So the ideology towards getting through carpentry to what I'm doing is actually life that beat me into that. And these are like shortcuts towards your main goal. So if our advice for people that listening, I'll say this, whatever plan you have for yourself, or whatever goal you want to achieve, if those goals are not achievable now, find other smaller means or shorter routes, work towards them step by step. It will still take you to your final goal. And that final goal is in your head, is in your eyes. You built it up. You can't fold your hands and be waiting until I get XYZ amount, until I get XYZ thing, I'll be able to go here, or I'll be able to be, happy. This cuts across life in terms of how you view life. If I have 10 million in my account, I'll be happy. No. If I'm married today, I'll be happy. No. If I have children, I'll be happy. No. Life can happen to you at any time. Even when you have the children, you say, okay, if I have kids, I'll be happy. What if they die? God forbid. What if you lose them? If I have a house, I'll be happy. What if you get the house and fire just go off and one day the house is gone? So you just need to ask yourself, what exactly do I want to achieve with my life? So it takes me to say, discovering yourself. So I think I discovered myself right from time. I knew I was going to be a business person, but I never knew the kind of business I'm going to do. I knew I'm going to sit on board of several companies, but I don't know how it's going to happen. So I built my empire from scratch, right, by God's grace, and I had support systems around me. So while I was building my businesses, I had people around me. My brother was also an architect; was a backbone to me. Also, I had other persons that might not be able to mention, but they know themselves. They know that they've been a lot of support system. Then I made it intentional to be someone that can reach out to people and talk and say, you see, look at what's going on with me, like what's going on with you. You have a lot of people that hide, you have problem, you keep quiet, you don't talk about it. I don't do that. I talk. I say, this is what is going on with me. I share. I don't care if I share my idea, you run along with it. Go ahead and run along with it. Ideas are plenty. I can always generate another one. So I don't hide my ideas. I share my ideas and I focus towards them. But remember, those ideas are per second for me, per second. When I generate an idea today, tomorrow I build on it, next tomorrow I build on it, you keep on moving. So if I share with you, you want to do that, see, I feel so happy. I say, go on, no, go ahead, go do that. But some people feel like, let me not share my idea or they'll use it. The idea will expire. You're not the only one thinking. You're not the only one thinking. And it has happened to us severally that we are thinking about something and a friend of ours will call us and ask us the same thing we are thinking to do. So why will I keep quiet? And when I have things to say, I just have to say them. And mind you, what I tell you today, I can change it tomorrow. So it doesn't make me inconsistent. It makes me a progressive person. So the ideas I have today are not same ideas I had 10 years ago, but there are consistency in those ideas. There are consistency in where I'm moving to. So what I want to become is, I want to become a global citizen, right? I want to become a global entrepreneur. I want to become a global serial entrepreneur. I don't want to be, I'm a Nigerian, I own Abuja. I don't want to own Abuja. I want to own the whole world, right? So anywhere that I'm being, I will conquer this place. So once I'm moving, I'm conquering. Once I'm moving, I'm conquering. So I think life beat me to all these things. So it's not like somebody sit you down and say, this is what you're going to do. Go this direction, go that direction. I came to Abuja, the capital of Nigeria. I don't know any single soul. So when I finished school, I was looking for where to serve. Normally NYC will post you randomly. You don't know where you're going to. But I said, I want to serve in Abuja. I had this connect that was my daddy's friend or our family friend. Let me not mention her name. So we reached out to her. She said, you know what? Story, nothing was done. But when I got my posting, I was posted to Abuja. That's how I landed in Abuja. I don't know how. I never knew anybody. No house. I know nobody. But today, I will tell you, basically how many persons I brought to Abuja after coming to Abuja without knowing anybody. So why did I come to Abuja? I came to Abuja because I don't want anywhere I'll come to. And tomorrow someone will say, I made him. I don't want anybody to say, I made him. I want to say, I made it with God. So when I got to Abuja, God made me through other people that I don't even know from anywhere. And they know themselves. It would have been a good opportunity for me to mention names, right? But I don't have permission to start mentioning names because there's this particular fellow I wanted to mention his name. He knows himself. He's in the UK. He'll be back very soon. He knows he's my boss, but I won't mention his name. But one day he comes, right? I will tell it to the whole world that he is the one that actually drove my drive, to get to this where I am today. So that was it.
I'm burning with questions.
Yes,
Can you
amazing.
hear me?
See, I can.
Okay, so I was taken out. Network took me out, so I couldn't.
Oh,
I
sorry.
didn't participate. I didn't hear some of the things that you shared. So I'll definitely go back to watch that portion. But while you were speaking, I was just so excited because I share some ideologies with you around. Especially, let me start with the one you said about ideas. I remember the last person on our show, Princess Adeyinka. We met at a program where we went to pitch our ideas for them to, the next Titans. While we were there, somebody said that this one that they are just asking us our ideas. They're just asking us about our ideas. That's how they will take our idea now and go and do something with it. And you know what the man said? The man said, the one that you are thinking of, the one you have not thought of, somebody has executed it. So if it's easy, run am. And then immediately he said that, it made so much sense to me, especially when it comes to execution. And when you were talking about that, I was so happy. I don't know, I'm not sure I'm not sure I heard where you shared where you started and how you have arrived at this particular place. But I have a question. There's somebody there that is asking themselves that, okay, I have this idea and I have this talent, I have all these things, but I don't know exactly where to start from. Exactly where to start from. So if you were to talk to somebody that, there's plenty ideas in their head, and I'm saying this because this would help someone. I just got a message that, please, I have plenty ideas, but I don't even know where
Yes.
to start from. Please speak to that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. How do I put this now? Yes. Okay. So my head is in several places at the same time, right? I'm talking to you. I'm also thinking business. I'm also having to remember that I have some views also going on. But let's put it this way. If you're going to start a business and you're confused or what to do, so confusion comes in several angles. It differs from one human being to another human being, right? So if it's monetary confusion, there are solutions, there are conversations for that. If it's money is not the problem, but you don't know what to do, there are so. But let's have just an open conversation, just from my own experience and what has happened to me, right? So if I'm in a dilemma, I'm in point A, but I want to go to point Z, but I can't jump from A to Z. Why don't you look for point B, then go to point C, then gradually move along? The first of all, you have to first agree with yourself and have your self-acceptance. What are your weaknesses and what are your strengths? If whatever you want to do, that your strength supersedes your weaknesses, fine, you can be able to achieve that. But if you find out that your strength cannot carry on, look for a partner, solve that problem. When you're looking for a partner, look for a partner that have that strength that will counter your weaknesses. Not only that, also look for a partner that also understand your weaknesses and have accepted it, that nothing will happen that I'm going to say I'm not doing again, or I'm not going to go into this. So your partner has to accept your weaknesses, and you too have to accept your partner's weaknesses. Whenever you accept that weaknesses, you're okay. So if you see it tomorrow and say, I didn't expect it this way, you should expect it that way. We're all human. That's how to solve this problem. In your head first, you solve the problem here before you move on. But what happens to us is that human, we don't think for tomorrow. We just think about today. Let's first start. We'll solve it. Whatever problem comes, we'll solve it. And when problem comes, now you find out that you cannot solve. You have entered deep. You find out that you can no longer, there's no exit strategy on that. But when you have in your mind, my exit strategy, my weakness, my strengths, am I going to partnership or not? So I'm not saying that everybody must go into partnership. That's not what I'm preaching. But I'm saying, if you need it, go for it. So you can solve your problem. Do that for yourself. If you don't need it, then sit down and work on your head, because you know that as human, right, we have the capacity to do anything we wish to do in this life and be successful. There are a lot of examples, people that have gone before us and people that are still with us. Some people are doing extraordinary great. They are all humans. There's no difference between them and you. Forget that we are here in Nigeria and they are dead there, or they are. Doesn't matter where they are. Wherever you find yourself, you are an extraordinary, unique individual. You don't have two of you, only one of you. So if you know you have only one of you, why don't you take advantage of that and say what I want? So if it means me now, where I am today, to go back and sell pure water on the streets, right? You will know I will do it. You will know I'm the one. Even if you see me, you will know I'm the one. And I'll close my deals. I'll sell my pure water and move on. What happens to me is, if I'm selling that pure water, what's in my mind? Is it pure water? No. I'm thinking, okay, if I make X number of sales, I'm going to go back to where I am, or I'm going to go to so place I'm going to. But what happens to one being is that, that comfort, like, I've been here, I can't go lower than this. I can't, that's what ego and pride. And when that happens to you, you'll be able to move forward. So in business, I always tell people, look for synergy. Even if you don't want to go to partnership, synergize with others. Move around, go for conferences, attend programs, watch YouTube, listen to people's stories, get to find out where they failed. Don't always listen to success stories. They're beautiful. But also know that your mindset is the optimum thing that happens to you, how your mind operates. So I'll give you a short story, right? So when I was doing my business, we had this supplier in Lagos that used to supply us hardwares, right? Accessories, hardwares, accessories. So we go to him. The guy didn't really go to school. One large like that. He didn't go to his, English is even a little bit difficult. But when you go to his warehouse, man, everywhere is full. If you see the white gold here, everywhere thick. While I was looking at him, I was saying to myself, if this guy can achieve this, what about me that even I can speak English? At least I went to school. I should be able to do more than this. But for now, I'm buying from him. But I need to learn the rope to start importation. Then I had another business person that was with me. I was having this conversation with. You know what he told me? Forget these people who they do drugs. You don't know what they do. I like, how is it my business? I'm not. I'm seeing accessory. I'm seeing hardware. He's seeing drugs. I can't comprehend that. But in his head, drugs. In my head, accessory. But do you know what happened? Less than 12 months, I started importing, and I first did 20-feet container from China. We first started doing 40 feet from Turkey. He never imported a full container load. He started buying from me. Why? The mindset, how my mindset worked for me. Now, whether you are doing something negative, it's none of my business. I'm not there with you. I didn't see that. I'm seeing something positive in you. But someone else will see something negative. And when you start seeing negative things, it will work for you negatively because that's what you're saying. So if I'm going to business with you, for example, I'm looking at you, I'm seeing your strengths, and I've accepted your weaknesses. And in that business, you are cheating me. Yes, you are cheating me. That's fine. But to me, you're not cheating me. I'm cashing out also. I'll always cash out, whether you're cheating me or not. But if you start seeing cheating me, using me, cheating me, using me, you're not going to get anything out of that thing. You find out that mindset will drag you down because that's what the negative impact I placed on you. But see, don't negate the fact that I'm not saying be careless. I'm not saying you see those signs and you ignore them. Yeah. If you see those signs, you can manage them. Don't ignore them. Manage them. But don't let those negative images in your head change your mindset towards sticking or staying on those negative parts. Find a way to navigate yourself towards the positive angle, because in every person you see, there's always a negative part of the person. But stick on the positive aspect of that person. When you do that, you can move forward. So for me, the mindset works for me. I keep up that positive mindset. And remember, the things you garbage into your mind helps you, right? The kind of people you listen to helps you. If you close in the day and hang out with people that always, you do a lot of vices and talk, you think that those things are not affecting you. They are. Really, they are affecting you, and you won't know. So you might actually say, your mind is strong. You can be able to safeguard your heart, but you're hanging out with the wrong set of people. Over time, that's they say, person will stay for shit for a while, you will stop to the smell shit. So you see what happens. So if you continue staying with the bad set of persons in terms of conversation and the rest, it will happen to you. So my advice is stay with the right set of persons that gives you positive conversation. Watch the right channels that will give you positive attributes. So if you come to my YouTube and you check the kind of channels I subscribe to, you'll be like, wow, like these are the things I want to listen to. If you look at my SoundCloud and see the persons I listen to, you say, wow, they might be boring, but there are some things that's getting into you step by step, gradual by gradual, that's imbibing inside of you. If you look at my bookshelf and see the kind of books I read, Think and Grow Rich, you can say The Road Less Traveled. You look at this kind of books, you read. When you read them, you say, oh, so people have to actually pass through this thing. If you cannot read books, get the audio books. Do you understand? Get the audio books, play them in your car, put them in your ear. They might not make sense to you at the time you start. They might not be the wonderful lifestyle you want to do, but over time, it becomes that lifestyle. So this is what I'm going to say to everyone, right? Safeguard your heart, mind your mindset, right? Then look for synergy where is important. Recognize your weaknesses, recognize your strengths. Where your weaknesses are too, not okay, get synergized with or partner with someone that has strength over those weaknesses that will help you. that if you have money issue and you want to go into a particular kind of business and your money is not there, forget about looking for, I'm looking for investor or investment that will give me XYZ amount of money. When you have not been able to manage yourself, you're looking for someone to give you extra, you're going to waste the person's money. And you say, I'm the brain behind it. Oh, there's no brain behind anything. Money is the I'm sorry. There's always brain behind everything, Sean. But I'm trying to say that the brain is as much as important as the money that is also pulling it, because the money has its own risk. But brain behind the project, what risk is the brain carrying? Money has a lot of risk. The way you lose it, you lose it. Your brain, you always have it. You can always move it to another place. So I'm sorry, but some people can argue this. But different school of thought will always tell you this. There's no 100% correct business mindset. And also remember, copy and paste is fine. But you also need to know that once you're out of school, you can create your own standard. Look at Facebook, what is going on in Facebook, how they created their structure. Look at Twitter, how the Twitter structure was. Then when it turned to X came around, turn it around to his own structure. Always remember to create your own structure. Don't reason with what people do. So when I write my letters and you see my papers, you find out that I use different fonts. This is my strength. I use different color. I don't care. This is my industry. I'm going to use it and I'm going to send it to you. You're going to recognize it and you're going to respect it. When I post on Instagram, there's a way I write my post. I give it space. I use, if you're going to use full stop, I don't want to use full stop. I use an exclamation mark. The essence of doing that is to tell you that I'm on authority towards what I write. So if you start saying, it's not correct, that's your business. It's correct for me. And people understand that it's correct. So I'm creating my own legacy. So these are how it works. So when you say, this is my name is Donoji, and my Donoji is registered with the R. You say this is Donoji with R. You can't use it for finances or entertainment. So this is I've secured that name. You can use it. So this is how it works. So when I say my son is Donoji, you say, why would you name your son Donoji? What does it mean? It means leadership. So there's a place I'm heading to, and that's where I'm going to. So these are human things. These are human centered, but not negating the fact that there is always God in everything you do. And this is the private person that gives you the strength that you need. For me, God is the foremost person in my life that has helped me, triumph and move over all these things and give me the brilliant ideas you think I have. And some of these ideas are not actually brilliant. They are still ideas everybody has gone through. Just that, when you read book and meet a lot of persons, those ideas will stick with you, and do the things you need to do. So that's unique in it. Thank you. I love this conversation. I can talk, but let me allow you guys to talk, please.
So good. Grace, where are you going to? Why are you running?
I am not running. I am here. Like, you can tell a rich mindset. You can tell someone that is intentional. And I like, he talked about the carpenter thing. And I like when, people, when you create a picture in somebody's mind, I'm a carpenter, and they be like, there's something that is really biting me. I want to say it. The first time I met you and you said you're a carpenter, and then, when I looked at you first, I was like, and then we need to change this mindset. Kai. It's biting me. Some things, well, I am this woman. See, I'm so excited. Don't mind me. I'm excited that because of this conversation, I get energy. My own dopamine is from mind stimulating conversations. That's where I get my dopamine from. So I am super excited we're having this conversation. When I saw him and he said he was a carpenter, I was like, which kind of carpenter? I like carpenter. That was because I had a mindset in my head about what a carpenter should look like. I had a mindset. I don't know if I'm audible. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can very well. I can hear you.
And then I think it was after I met you, and I also heard the story of Madam Ibukun Awoshika. My perception about carpentry changed. Let me tell you, I went to your site to Google so I could come take a lesson. In fact, what now finished it was when I now heard that Jesus Christ was the carpenter. And I said, oh my God, money did this carpenter work. Oh, you just need to put your own stuff to it. What am I saying in essence? When I saw you and you mentioned you were a carpenter and you were measuring, I will go back, I will look, I will come back. You will do your thing, you do. I'm like, hey, yeah. And then I went outside and I'm like, oh, when I saw the machine, this bros, I'm like, oh boy. I went back. I was listening to him like, okay, I need to learn something from this man. Like, it was for me, it was your excellence and unapologetic. Like you were doing your thing. I could see more like a man. Now I know you're an architect, so I can tell that
Yes.
your design, whatever. Babe, I'm not kidding you. Come and see her with his tape, with his measurement, and he was doing this, okay, that. I'm like, okay. And for me, for someone like me, when I see excellence, I almost worship it. This is for lack of a better word. I almost worship it. And I know there's something I want to learn from this person. So, and this is why I don't joke with the people I meet. For me, mindset like this, it was
Yes.
when I
What?
met him that my mindset about carpentry changed. And then I started seeing people that were doing amazing things in that field. And then I started thinking, I need to learn. For me, it was more about the design. I started seeing how people could change, could bring wood from nowhere and design something. It shifted my mind from carpentry to design, from design to something that I'm lacking words for. And this is why we're doing what we're doing. This story that you're sharing, I am sure, 100% sure that somebody's mindset will change. I remember when my mechanic at the time in Lagos, he was studying, he was reading something, and I was so impressed. He was dealing with undercars at the time, but he was doing it differently. He didn't go to school, oh, but he was studying. And then, to cut this long story short, that mechanic now, what he does now, let me not even share that. Maybe one of these days we would invite him to come and share his story. He was doing things differently. He didn't even go to school, but he was reading, he was studying, he was, equipping
Yeah.
himself with certain things, and then he grew. For me, I just knew that somebody with that kind of a mindset would not do anything normally. And then the question I want to ask you, because we have sat too much on the high horse of education. In fact, I'm getting angry now because of this certificate thing. It has stopped a lot of people from delving into things that they should be making millions out of. And I want you to speak to that. You know,
Okay.
you now, somebody will tell you that it's easy for you to say that you are a carpenter because at least you're a graduate. By the time they know you have gone to school, that's why you're doing it differently. I want you to talk to somebody that is not, probably has not gone to the four walls of the university, or does not have that particular level of education, but they are highly skilled in a particular field. Maybe you have an advantage that is maybe your certificate, your architecture, and everything that you did. What of that person that is not so um has not doesn't want to even go to school because they believe that you don't have it's not by going to school that you make money? I want you to speak to that person to help them change their mindset around, you know, owning your skill and doing something wonderful about it, and also to speak to people with that certificate and they have carried that certificate on their head, forgetting that there are other things that you can do that can take you to the top, and dropping that ego of I am a graduate, I should not be doing certain things, I am this. I want you to speak to those two things, because I see it around. I see it a lot around. You tell some graduates to learn certain things through a particular, they'll tell you, how can I graduate, how can they graduate? I just need you to help me out. You see, I'm very passionate, I'm talking about this because it's a major problem in our world today. Please speak to me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Grace, so amazing. You see, this is one of the major challenges we face in this part of the world, having to give more emphasis to certifications or certificates without necessarily carrying through what that certificate should say to us. Going to school is an advantage for me, yes. But what's the essence of going to school? Is it just the certificate, or for me, I think the essence of being in school is just to acquire that knowledge, be able to meet a lot of human beings from diverse culture, race, so that you can be able to mold yourself to a better person. Build bridges, across board. That's what school does for you. So that 4 years or 7 years or 6 years you spend in school, you should be able to build bridges, not necessarily passing your courses and moving without learning the other one. So while I was in school, I was building bridges, right? So I met a lot of persons. I got into maybe school leadership. I was a student rep for 2 terms in my school. They call it, I think, Student Representative Council. I was a member in that unit, and being a member there gave me the opportunity to see a lot of high-profile persons that we're also dealing now, but without being compromised or without being messing up yourself in terms of integrity or in terms of other vices people go into. So I was not going to go into those vices. There are a lot of vices that were there. I was within that vices, but I was not part of that vice. So like, who is this person? I know what happens in school, that people will bully you to do things you're not supposed to do. When you don't do them, later in life, they'll say, man, that guy is a strong man. But when you do them, you say, this one, he went. So nobody was able to bully me. You can't bully me. You can't. You can't bully me. Whoever you want to be, you can't bully me. So it's actually embedded inside of me. So my home training or my upbringing, helped a lot for me. I didn't grow up with a golden spoon or even silver spoon, but we're just okay. We are just all right. My mom was kind of a businesswoman. I remember at a time that I was running her businesses. I was helping her to do a lot of things. She was doing a lot of things, right? And I remember a time that was okay. So I remember a time that I had an account that my money in my account was more than my mommy's money in her own account. I was like, whoa. But then you wouldn't know. Even my mom did not know. I remember when I bought my first share, I was still in school. I was still in my year one in university. I bought my first share, Access Bank. But is this, we can talk about that one, but it's disheartening. I need to mention that name. So it was Access Bank. Yes, it was Access Bank. My first share, 43,000 plus in my year one. I don't understand share. I just go to the bank, use my school fees and bought shares. When my dad received the share certificate, he was like, what's going on? So I just wanted to learn business, investment as early as I can. So all those things helps. So now going back to your question, I just want to give you a little bit of here and there conversation. Now going to certifications, what happened to us is that most of us rely mostly that do you know ego thing. Do you know who I am? Master degree holder. You want me to come and wash your house? Man, it's not about what you have in your hand. If it's not making money for you, why are you having it? And it's helping me now to train my own children. Now I keep telling my children, sir, so what do you want to be? You want to do carpentry? You want to do engineering, aeronautic? You want to be a medical doctor? Don't be doing doctor thing. Learn the business behind being a doctor. So it's not just better. If you want to be a doctor, why don't you go to a business school and get money and employ those doctors? They work for you. It makes you a doctor. So you can always do what you want to do. So I don't necessarily need to go and read medicine to become a doctor. It's stressful. But if I learn the business or the psychology behind the business of being a doctor, I can buy a hospital, get doctors to work there. Then, whether I like it or not, when they are calling doctors, I'll stand there. He's doctor, they give you doctor too. Are you a doctor? The important thing is that, are you making impact in people's life? Are you making impact in this place? Some people don't think about making impact. They think about selfish thing. Me. I make money, I eat money, I flex money. These are not what life is called for. These are not what we are cut out for. What we are cut out for, make money, impact people's life. So if you don't have that and you focus on certifications, okay, I got certificates, you know who I am, I cannot go down low. Imagine he offered me 200,000 naira, my mates are taking 1 million naira. Even the 200, you don't have it, you don't want to take it. All these are ego things just to make you feel nice. Now, for me, I conquered it long time ago because of my mom. So I used to do what they call supplies those days. So I take orders, right? So we do some kind of supplies. So those days, there are some products my mom used to make, but you make it on special order. So when you place your order, we produce those things for you. Then we go supply. So when I was in those things, I was still in my secondary school, right? So it helped me to tailor my lifestyle towards those things. So when I touch money, I no longer feel much about money. Money is money, me and me. It got to an extent when I got to 17 years old, because of the kind of supplies I make, my dad had to allow me start driving his car. But the funniest thing is, when I drive those cars, my friends say, bring it, let us go and see our friends. Immediately I finish my supply with that car, I park it, I go by public transport. I don't use my daddy's car for private things, for my own things. I don't do that, because in my head, I already know that I'm using this car for business. Once I'm done, I put the car down. Then if I want to go see my friends, I walk. And they don't even know how much I want as at that time. And I can't even mention it because we're not in the same category. For example, I'm going with a friend in secondary school that is looking for his father to pay him school fees, about maybe average of then was maybe 20K or 25K school fees for 1 year. Usually the kind of school I attended, like you can deposit your school fees for a whole 1 year. One will get to, I think, SS2 or thereabout, because they don't want you to pay half term and leave. They want you to pay for the whole year. Now, I have more than that money in my account. I'm not the one paying my school fees. So what conversation will I have with you that you understand? You can't understand it. You can't even believe it that I have such money. And even if I tell you, you start advising me on what things to do that are not things that money is supposed to be for, right? And I remember, while I was doing this thing, I now knew very well in my heart that I am going to be a business person, not just going to school. So when it got to the time of taking a decision for school, my dad asked me, what do you want to be? I said, Daddy, any course that I will go to and make me to finish without working for anybody, that's what I want to do in my life. My dad was like, what do you mean? I said, if it's medicine, I can study, I can become a medical doctor. If it's engineering, I can do that easily. Whatever I want to study is something I want to study and be on my own. I don't want to work for anybody. At that time, people were coming out of school to go work, coming out of school to go do banking jobs, to come out of school to go, you know. But for me, I said, I want to go to school, come out, and I don't want to work for anyone. So if you have that kind of mindset, right, from childhood, you know that you are special, you are different. So I was totally different. So certification, it wasn't my problem. That was why my dad I was asking to do my assignment in my year 1 and my year 2 before he died, because I was not going to do the paperwork that I already know I'm a smart guy. I just want to, you know, build boundaries, meet people, be able to know that I have a lot of, once I'm out of school, I'll start up. But what business you want to do, I was not even sure as at that time. So what was in my mind is, whatever that is doable, that will put me in a business space, I will do it. So I discovered carpentry after my dad died. That was when I now discovered carpentry, right? And I found out that carpentry was the fastest way for me. So now, if I tell you that I'm a farmer, right? I'm a carpenter. Now, I can now tell you clearly that I'm an architect. Before, I don't mention that I'm an architect. So I tell people that I'm a carpenter, because for me to survive being a carpenter person, right, I need to work with carpenters. And if I go to tell carpenters that I'm a graduate and I'm an architect, you know, I become a threat to them. So I need to step down, stay with them to learn. So seeing all these things, I will always advise every young individual and say this to them, you know what? Forget about what you have. Think about, what do you really need? What do you want to achieve in life? And that is what has been driving me all this while. So once I set up my mind, I say, what do I really want in life? At any particular stage, I ask myself, what do I want in life? What do I want to achieve? Once I fix that, I can be able to re-engineer and move on with that. So I will advise them, forget your certifications, right? It's good. Don't overlook them, but don't place so much importance on those certifications and ignore things you can do. If you can fry buns very well, or you can make pie, focus on those things that are going to give you a little bit of money to move where you're going to, right? Learn the business behind being a business person. So there's always business. So talking about certification, yes, but now let me tell you what I do now. So now, as a carpenter, those days I used to run fear. I'm everywhere. Now I don't move around anyhow. If you call me to come see your place, I give you my premium charges. Before I visit you, you pay me. Because once I come to your place, I'm going to give you free advice. That's called consultation. You pay me for consultation. But remember, I was not taking consultation fee those days. Now I take consultation fee. Now I'm so proud to, like, if you thought I'm so proud of what I do, like is on my fingertips, that if you call me, I'll tell you, you know what, if you don't want to use us, right? You don't want us to do your job, just consult us. We help you get a carpenter that will do the job for you, we'll consult for you. It means that you are that level in your life that you're hungry, quite all right, that's fine. You're looking for money, that's fine. But now we are now saying that we are here to provide value and comfort to you. If you cannot afford us, get people that you want to work for you. Let's help you navigate through those stress and help them deliver the job. And you have to pay for it. So when you learn, look at it and say, okay, I can consult you. You say yes. It becomes consultation thing. So I take a fee for consultation. Those days we do drawings, right? So when you call me, I do drawings for you, or I get my architects to do drawings for you, right? It's free of charge. Now, no more free things. If you want drawings, you pay for it. And if I tell you something, our drawings now, anywhere in the world you take our drawing to, it stands out. Stand anywhere in the world, our drawing can stand out with anyone.
You have paid your dues.
These are the things. So these are the things that having to overlook your certifications and focus on the things you need, the tools you need to move forward in life. These are where they suffice. So let's not place so much importance to my paper. I am BSc, MSc. Like I got 3 degrees. If you see my CV, you'll be like, whoa. But then I'm a carpenter. What are the CVs doing for me? So I need to be careful in the things that I do. I need to be sure that whenever I'm moving forward in my life, I'll be sure that I focus on what am I doing now. I remember, there's nothing I do now that is cast on the stone. So tomorrow, if you hear that I'm a cybersecurity expert, right, don't be surprised. Right? Don't ever be surprised, because
that's the next deal.
Yes, this is me. You know, I keep on moving every now and then.
So
I keep on moving.
Yeah, so basically you are moving
authentically. Yes, recreating myself every time. As the world is changing, remember to recreate yourself. But that does not mean that you've neglected where you're coming from. It's still there. Right. Remember, you still got people working for you. You still got people you are training that is moving forward, but you still have to recreate yourself to do other better things. And this is
how you evolve. Yes.
Right.
Of us as humans, we are evolving 100%. Beings. We keep evolving. And so, and the evolving is like, again, you can start from here, but it's like when you look at it in that regard, you look at the concept of the butterfly. It is the same organism. It's the same organism, but it morphs from the larva, the pupa, into that beautiful butterfly. Right. So again, if we look at that as that we evolve, but when we look at it very well, we'll still see the consistency in that journey. As we wrap up this session, honestly, for somebody who is shy, like I not go agree. That shyness is already out of your equation, because
okay. But to be honest with you, I'm a very shy person, but somehow God has helped me to
absolutely.
I'm bold. I know what I want in anywhere I find myself, and I also try as much as I can to remain humble. So it's not easy. But let me give you before we wrap up, let me give you this some things we do in terms of impact. Like so,
exactly. That's what I was coming to. Like, I want you to share with us what you're doing in that regard, because again, you have such a brilliant mind and such a brilliant perspective to life that I feel like it needs to be passed on. So what are your plans and what are you doing in that regard? Thank you so very much, sir.
Okay, so thank you. So in terms of impacts, right? So whatever you do in life, it doesn't matter how many people have you impacted in, and you don't have to, some people think impact is when you have money, when you have all the money you need. Sometimes what you have here, just transfer it to people. That's an impact. So to me, along the line, we created what we call Dazzle Carpentry Training. It's a training school where we train people to become carpenters. So we use ourselves as life example to say to people that we are graduates also. We went to school, but we are carpenters. Keep your certifications or keep your certificates in school. Just forget about them. Come and learn hand skill. And these hands-on skills are skills that anytime, anywhere, whether in your private house or you're working for someone or not, it comes handy at any particular time. Wherever you find yourself, they come handy. So if you see me, I go for holidays in the US and I'm in a room, something fall out. You find me fixing it quickly. It doesn't take me anything. So we created a carpentry school called Dazzle Carpentry Training. If you Google, you can see Dazzle Carpentry Training, where we train people to become carpenter. This is one way we started impactation in people's lives. So we did our first cycle, I think it was sometime in 2017. It was scholarship for everyone. After scholarship, we started doing sommets for the ladies, for women that attend our school. We give them some kind of discount to be able to move until now we're here. Now we're here. The school is quite expensive for people to attend. It's not my making. The whole way the way country is, this is what it is. But then we've done officially over 500 persons we impacted in with this carpentry thing. Not only teaching them carpentry, bring them closer to learn about businesses and know how you can, transfer from carpentry business to other businesses that you want to do. So we've done that as people's impact. While we are doing this also, we do things like exposition. We have shows like this. We talk about our life, what we've done, because the problem we have in this part of the world is that people make money, but they don't want to talk about the way they make money, or they're afraid that when they talk something, that kind of thing. So now we are open to discuss our growth, our failures, and our impact. And we do that every time. So anybody that will find ourselves, will come across them, we'll have a podcast studio. We run a podcast studio in Abuja also called the Podcast Studio Nigeria, right? In podcast studio, we do a lot of these conversations also. And we allow young Gen Zs that want to do their video reels to walk into a podcast studio and do whatever they want to do. These are life impact. And when they come, we talk about other businesses. We talk about things we do. Talk about how you can be able to navigate, through these life cycles. We do that. Now, it took me across this impartation. We now went to do what we called, I became a Rotarian. I joined Rotary Club. So my home club is not in Nigeria. My home club is in Kigali. So I'm a member of Rotary Club. It's called Rotary Club of Kigali Virunga. That's where I am a member. That's my home country. I'm a Rotarian there because there are some things we do. We create impact around those areas, and we have more connections to people in Canada or Western world. They bring in funds for us to be able to help the community, so it's easier for me to navigate. While I'm doing that in Kigali, I'm also building some kind of businesses also there. This aside being a Rotarian, I'm also a member of Paul Harris Fellow. Paul Harris Fellow is when you get to a level in Rotary Club that you have this bid that say you're Paul Harris Fellow. It's like an award that says you've done XYZ, you've done your donations, you've done XYZ for Rotary Club to impact a human. These are impact that we make. So aside all these things, stay humble, right? As in stay humble, stay focused. There are a lot of distractions. Yeah, you can't doubt that. There's a lot of distractions, but if you stay focused and stay humble and say now, whatever you do in life, the number of persons you impact are the number of feathers you have. Impact people's life free. Just go ahead and do them. And I remember one word that my dad said to me, one of those days. He said, freely receive, freely give. Freely receive, freely give. So whatever you have today, you received it freely, whether you paid for it or not. Because the brain that came to you is free. You received it freely. Always remember to give it out freely. But remember, know where that thin line is to build. So not when it comes to build. If you see me, I'm a very practical person. I tell you, I'm going to tell you this for free, and I tell you for free. The other one, I say you're going to pay for it, and the essence for you to pay for it, so you pay close attention and you pay for it, and that's how it is for me. Thank you.
So much. Thank you so much. Like, this has been so valuable. I need to go back and sit down and listen again because my network is not so great. So as I am like this now, I'm losing 2 ears at the same time. One is listening to the one I can hear clearly. This other one is listening to the one I can break out. But thank you so much. It's been so impactful. God bless you. I just want to say, Gracie, ask that question because I love how you started and now we're ending this session. You keep coming back to that humility of a thing. So Gracie, go ahead and ask that question in a way that for the question that you normally ask.
Yeah. So, what do you think? What do you think? Why do you think it is important that people should impact lives? Why do you think it is very important that we use our voices, our skills, our gifts to create impact? Why do you think it is very important? In one word or maybe a few words, tell us why you think it is very important.
Okay, so whether you are reading books or you're listening to podcasts or you're watching whatever, it's important to link people to what their stories, right? And these are not fallacies or fantasies or whatever. This is real life stories, and this is someone's life, right? This is my life. This is my story. When you listen to me, you can easily connect with me over time. My friends can attest to that and say, this has, he has always been like this, right? So when you can relate someone's story to the person, it becomes personal. It motivates you in a different way. That when you are hearing a story from someone you don't know, you have not seen, right? So, but if you hear from someone you don't know, you've not seen, it's faith. But when you see the person and you can relate to the person, it gives you more ginger to say, if this person can succeed, why won't I succeed? So I will employ everyone to always share your stories, tell your stories, open your voice, let people hear what you've been through. Not only the good ones, but also the bad ones. Not only the rosy part, but also the thorny parts also. It's important. So that when you listen, you now say, we don't look like where we're coming from, right? We don't look like where we're coming from. So when you don't look like where you're coming from, you know that, man, a lot has actually happened. So people get to relate to that and learn. Tomorrow, if you see me driving past, you say, whoa, that's rich man, they made money. But you don't know how come about that money. So you don't get to say, yeah, so that's why I don't envy anybody. I say anybody, I say, I don't envy them. No matter the kind of thing you do, I don't envy you. Everybody has his own trouble. Dangote today, you see him, he's a rich guy, but I don't envy that guy. He has a lot of stress in his head. Look, I said, turning gray hairs. I don't envy him. I pray for him, to keep on succeeding. It's not easy. So this is how I feel about things like this. So short term, that's how I feel about it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Use your voice, like share your story, and not just the rosy part, also the challenging part. And that's one of the beauty of what we do here at Your Voice, Your Impact. It's not just about the successes, but also about the downtimes, the challenges, the failures, seemingly failures, right? But we again for what we do, you would see that there is always there is always the place where people plateau, even if they started. Donoji said, I was not born with golden spoon and the silver spoon. I was like, is it going to be plastic spoon? But basically, you know that at some
We shall eat
point,
food.
you wooden spoon,
We shall eat food. Doesn't matter,
and you
man.
shall eat food, and whether you use a hand or
Yes.
spoon, right?
And I'm
So
proud of it, man.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's your story. That's the point. It's your story, it's your journey. And when you share it, there will be somebody that can connect with it. And by that person connecting with it, you have impacted that person. And that's what we're here to tell you. So thank you so much once again, Donoji, for being so gracious and for sharing so heartily and so freely and so valuably. There's a word like that. And thank you, Gracie, for this connect. You are such a fantastic human being. This is what we're talking about. You're a wealthy woman. Look at you. Look at you.
I'm
You're a
very
wealthy
wealthy. I know
woman.
wealthy people around me, wealthy people around, and wealthy in this context is that
When
you know people.
Yoruba people go say, oh moyo, oh moyo, oh down
Oh
your
my,
mo, oh down your mo.
resourceful people.
I love it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much,
you. Thank
and
you,
God bless
EJ.
you. Have a
Thank you, Grace.
fantastic
It's a
day.
pleasure. It's a pleasure to everyone here. And also, it's a pleasure to have me stay here and talk about my story. I appreciate this opportunity given to me. And I thank you all for this. And I said to the viewers or people that are going to listen much later, please just, don't garbage everything in and just think that is, no, no, no. Just find your own story too. Find your own part. God will help each and every one of us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, so we'll come away again next week with another story, another founder, their story, their impact. This is the energetic EJ signing out and saying see you
Yeah.
next week. Bye,
Bye.
guys.